But if you have a design patent, if you have a utility patent, if you have something, again, technology or something that's protected, basically, that someone else cannot do because you have legally protected yourself, like you have something that's licensable, in my mind.
Do you have a brilliant product idea but don't know where to start to get it made? Or are you looking to level up your product but afraid to take it overseas?
If so, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Jackie.
And I'm Erin, and we are
the Sourcing Gals,
your trusted guides to everything you need to know about sourcing, manufacturing, and scaling your product overseas. Whether you are just starting out or you've been making your own product for a while, we are here to help women source products overseas without the overwhelm.
In each episode, we'll share insider tips, actionable strategies, and inspiring stories to help you source more effectively, save time, and boost your profits. Duh! We know how hard it can be to juggle the ins and outs of product development, but don't worry, we've got your back.
So grab a cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into how you can grow your business,
make more money,
and turn your products into profit. Welcome to
the Sourcing Gals. Now let's get started. High five.
Hi.
Tired of paying for international wire transfers? So was I, and that's exactly why I switched to Mercury. With Mercury, I never worry about fees for domestic or USD international wires. The platform is free, super easy to use, connects seamlessly with QuickBooks, and their credit card perks are hard to beat. I can spin out new cards instantly for my team, earn 1.5% cash back on all purchases, and right now they're even offering a 2.5% cash back on any ad spend. Terms apply. So stop paying fees and start putting money back in your pocket with Mercury. Learn more and sign up today using the link in the show notes.
Welcome to another episode of the Sourcing Gals. You look quite cute today.
Oh, well, thank you.
I love this look.
Do you see this little cute necklace I have on here? This was what I got from the Abercrombie Challenge. They have this adorable vendor there. You could pick your charm, pick your bandana, and lace it up. And so cute. So I have this in brown as well, like a little brown bandana, a red bandana.
Really cute.
And then I can obviously do whatever you want.
But also, I love that jacket.
Thanks. One guess on where this came from. Go low. Lower. Meijer. Grocery store. It's my secret. Now everyone's going to know and go shopping at Meijer. If you live in the Midwest, you're going to be like, what? It's actually I think Lee's or Levi or I don't know.
Is it old? Do they still have it?
No, they might.
Okay, I'm getting it.
I don't know. But it was a great find. That is my secret shop. I have a bright pink fur jacket that I also got there.
I love it. I mean,
it's just fun. Yeah. A utility jacket, right? To start the spring.
Wow.
Trying to get the sun. The sun's coming out right now. It's,
It is February. I think it's a lot to ask of Mother Nature to have spring.
That's okay. The sun, I'll take the sun. And that's what we have.
You're right. I'll take the sun any day.
Okay. Back on track.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. And this is today's topic is something that has been brought up quite a few times with our clients as of late.
Just recently. It's several times it's come up and we've thought this is an interesting take on approaching entrepreneurship.
Yeah. And I'm like, this should be a podcast. So here we are talking about it. So we are talking about the difference between building a brand or licensing your idea.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're two different approaches, both valid. One requires inventory. One requires just an inventor.
Right.
And so we've had quite a few clients that we've been working with that do run product-based businesses, successful product-based businesses. But what they really love is the invention side of their product. And they are like, there's so many more iterations to be had. And these ideas are patented.
Yes.
They are protected. No one can dupe them here in the United States legally.
Yes.
And so the question has become, do they continue to scale their brand, or are they looking to maybe make a little pivot or even an addendum to their existing business model and start talking about licensing their technology, their concept, their product to make a whole new revenue stream for themselves?
And I think this is especially valuable with people we meet who don't wish to be the face of a brand.
Correct.
They don't want to be on social media. They don't want to have their name in lights per se. They want to make cool shit.
Yep.
And like, that's kind of where it ends. And I'm thinking about, do we know brands or products that have relied on this in the past? I mean, I even think about, this is so silly. What movie did this come from where someone claimed they invented the sticky note?
Oh my gosh, what is
I don't know. It is a movie though, or a show. But like, think about the person who invented the sticky note. They licensed that technology to other brands.
Mm-hmm.
They basically sold their intel, their intellectual property, and other people are using it in their own ways. I don't know if that's actually a licensed technology. It's just an example.
Well, one other example is you've talked about before, you have a patent pending
Yes.
idea, and you've said, I've gone from wanting to launch my own brand with this idea and concept to just sell it to those that it would be a great add-on for their business.
Correct.
It already fits in what they do and what they sell, but it's different.
Right. I hate the fact that I have to like talk about this in
Cryptic
generalities. But yes, it's invention. Yes, it is retail accessories adjacent,
Mm-hmm.
kind of. But it would sell to like, the brands that sell like the nipple covers and the tapes,
Fashion
like
tapes.
the double-sided
Yep.
tapes, fashion tapes. Like it would sell to a brand like that.
Yeah.
And at first I was thinking, I'm just going to have my own brand. And then I thought I would need all of these additional products to support this one idea.
Mm-hmm.
And all I really want to do is put this one idea out there.
Yeah.
I don't want to come to the table with a bunch of adjacent products to support my one idea. So why wouldn't I just sell my one idea to another brand and then I get, royalties?
Yep. And licensing can work a couple ways. One is you can literally sell your idea, like you said, and not own the manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
You're just selling the technology. You're selling them, you're licensing your patent to another manufacturer. Or V2 is you also own the manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
So company that you're going to go license to is going to pay you a licensing royalty, a fee, but then also you own your own manufacturing of it. You're the only one manufacturing the actual IP, like the product itself. So it can work a couple ways. I'm by no means a lawyer in this space. These are just things that I've learned from Shark Tank and from reading, that there is a couple ways that licensing can work. But it's interesting to think about the nuances of it. Do you launch with this? Like in your case, you're thinking about launching
Mm-hmm.
straight to market this way,
Uh-huh.
where a lot of other brands start off building the product. And then again, women we're talking to are saying, I'm kind of getting tired of this whole manufacturing thing and trying to build a community online. And I'm not looking to be the next Sarah Blakely. And sell it. Like, what if I went to someone who needs my technology, already has what I call a distribution channel, meaning a roster of clients, whether that's e-commerce, whether that's big box retailers, and I just sell to them. So I think it's a really exciting conversation. I think it's a 10x conversation.
It is.
So it's taking your product-based idea and thinking way bigger. Now, the margins are going to look different.
Sure.
But if the scale is there and you get to sit back and sip a pina colada on the beach while someone's utilizing your technology, I mean, I don't know, that sounds like the dream, kind of.
That might sound like the dream, but there are people who want to be just kind of wrapped up in the culture of what they're creating, and that's their like life's goal. And that's okay. There are a lot of people like that. You mentioned Sarah Blakely, like her whole thing was Spanx. I think did she just leave Spanx or sell it?
Oh yeah, she sold it.
Yeah, sold it. But like she's not that person anymore. She'll always be known like that,
Yes.
in my mind and other people's minds. But that may be your path. I think what we'd love to highlight here is that does not have to be your path.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an idea and you want to develop it and go to market with it, you don't have to also go down the oh, well, I need an Instagram handle and I have to have a website and I have to do this and that. Like, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe take a different approach.
Yeah. I think the challenging part with going straight to market at licensing most likely is that proving your validation, like proving that it actually works, that it's a needed item, right? So there's a lot of times where I do think going to market may still be the necessary first step, prove concept, proof that it works, social proof, like all those things. But then again, I think it's okay to pivot or be an add-on to your business. It also doesn't have to take the place of your core business that you've built,
Mm-mm.
by the way. I recently got approached by a very interesting licensing deal for my pajama brand. And it's interesting. It's something I never thought about until I had this conversation. And my fabric has technology. And I'm now in the exciting beginning phases of hopefully trying to patent this technology myself here in the States. It does have a patent overseas for my manufacturer, but not for me as the purchaser of this. And so the idea was I could keep my brand going as it is. No one would know the difference. However, I could license my fabric and my technology to other brands, other opportunities in a completely different space.
Sure.
That would not compete with my core customer and who I'm targeting. So it's interesting because, again, I never would have thought about that as an option for my business. But now that I have, I'm like, holy shit, like 20x when I think about that piece of it. And even finding versions of my fabric. So I'm actually working on alternative versions because my fabric is very high end. We use the best quality, best materials, best everything. But what if I take that and I dupe myself down to also allow my product to be available for a totally different market that can't afford my product, that's never even going to find out probably about my product, to be honest. And again, it's kind of a licensing approach in a different way and partnering with other brands that are in those spaces. So again, I never would have thought that that would even be part of my ecosphere. But now that it's unlocked and someone approached me with this idea, I'm like, oh, this could be a whole different game changer for my business in general, right?
Correct.
Like not necessarily for my brand per se, but if I'm okay to let go of my brand, I still run the high end piece. But if I can let go of that other piece, which I don't have a problem doing, I can all of a sudden that revenue becomes something very different.
Sure. I did think of an example. Do you know what Lobe Wonders are?
I'm wearing Lobe Wonders. I
Are
wear
you?
them every day.
So this is a company that came up with this technology that keeps your earring holes from like dragging down when you have heavier earrings.
It's a sticker. I have them on right
It's a
now.
sticker, yeah.
It's a clear sticker that goes in the back. I shower, I sleep in them, and every so often, every couple days,
You
they start
replace
to
them?
peel off. I replace them.
So Lobe Wonders was developed by one company, but they licensed their technology to Kendra Scott,
I had no
Bolivar,
idea, but
all
they
these
still
other
have
people.
Lobe Wonder because that's what I buy.
They
I buy
still
Lobe Wonder.
also have Lobe Wonder, but it's like other companies sell Lobe Wonder and then pay Lobe Wonder the, royalty or what have you.
It's brilliant. I actually think it's like my most favorite. When I do a holiday gift, like a grab bag of bring your favorite thing, it's Lobe Wonder.
So interesting.
Yeah. You might have good lobes.
My lobes are intact, but I don't wear earrings all that often. For someone who has spent the last decade in jewelry, I certainly don't wear a lot of it.
I know, it's pretty funny. That's really a great example, actually, where it's an and, not an or.
Yeah. Or think about like Gore-Tex. That's a name brand.
Yep.
And, Gore-Tex doesn't just like sell Gore-Tex at their Gore-Tex store.
Yep.
No, they don't. They sell Gore-Tex to REI, to Patagonia, to Eddie Bauer, to however. So you have that little Gore-Tex label on the sleeve of your jacket because they have bought the Gore-Tex brand. That's an example of licensing. And that's great. Gore-Tex guys are just laughing to the bank.
Yeah. And think about it. It's not competition,
Correct.
It is leverage. You are leveraging your business and your product idea in a whole other way.
And think about how much that can do for your brand, especially if your go-to-market strategy is like one brand is getting exclusive access to this for a certain period of time.
Yes.
Potentially.
Yes.
Like you could create some bidding wars. You could really amp that up there. And your idea could go to more places, could make you money from now until perpetuity. And you are not the face of brand. You don't own your own website, nothing.
You're not managing inventory. You're not running ad campaigns.
We're making this sound really good, but I will say this isn't for everybody. What's an example of who this wouldn't be for?
Licensing would be very hard if there's nothing proprietary about your product. If you're just making, I don't want to diminish anything, but like if you are making another version of a tote bag. And there's nothing really that innovative. Like maybe you have a great social media following and people love it. But if there's not something proprietary, protected about it, it'd be very hard to go tell somebody else to pay you to take your design. Because I'll tell you, design patents, unless they're, again, very utilitarian, functional, they're hard to get. So if there is not something super innovative, patentable, protectable about your product, it will be hard to validate someone paying you for it because they could just go do it themselves.
Correct.
With no legal ramification.
Correct. Like you have a nice jacket we talked about earlier in the episode. It has a pocket on the inside with the stitchings on the outside. It's very cool. But you couldn't just be like, oh, this is my thing. I'm the one who does interior pockets. Like, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone can see that and can go do their own iteration on it. That's not proprietary. It's not protected by IP.
But if you have a design patent, if you have a utility patent, if you have something, again, technology or something that's protected, basically, that someone else cannot do because you have legally protected yourself, like you have something that's licensable, in my mind.
If you're building a product-based business and finding yourself second-guessing decisions or wishing you had someone to gut check, we want you to know you don't have to do this alone.
On January 1st, we're opening the Sourcing Gals Founders Circle, our private community for product-based founders.
Inside, you'll get monthly Q&A calls with us, access to our templates, scripts, and tools, and most importantly, a community of founders building right alongside you.
It's only $27 a month, or for a limited time, $247 for the year. That's 3 months free. You can find all the details in the show notes. Hope to see you there.
I'm trying to think about a couple, like any patented product ideas that really couldn't be licensed, to be honest. You know, it really depends on where you want your brand to go, and know that it's okay for it to evolve. I mean, the founders that we're talking to, some of them have had their brands for years. And now they're at a place where like, man, what's next? Like, do I have to go out and get an investor? Do I have to go fundraise more? But I really don't have energy for that. I just love inventing.
Or do I have to come up with like a totally different idea that's not really where my heart's at just to keep this brand new and innovative every year?
Yeah.
If that doesn't sound like a good idea, then like maybe that's not for you.
Yeah. So I think you don't have to know this off the bat. I just think if you are someone that holds some type of trade secret proprietary thing within your product, it's really interesting to just think a little more. I think it's worth you thinking about.
Yeah. I wouldn't say this path is like top of mind for people when they go into the product business. They're not like, I'm going to make a cool product and not own a piece of it. Not that you don't. That's exaggerating, obviously. But usually people get excited about their idea enough to really want to be the driving force behind its sales. And it's just not the only option. So I think that's why we bring it up. And not only is it not the only option, but it might be a better option for your idea.
Yeah, I was going to say some naysayers might be like, oh, well, I'll make less money because I'm not owning and selling a product. I go back to the fact of if you are doing a licensing deal, hopefully it is with someone who has an already established large distribution channel, whether that be brick and mortar, whether that be e-commerce, wherever they're selling their product. Ideally, a licensing deal would only make sense for you if there's someone that can sell significantly more product than you're selling on your own. So yes, your licensing, your royalty might only make 15% to what you're making now. But if they're selling 100 times more, probably more like thousands of times more your current business, do the math. Like do the math and roll it up and just start looking at those numbers and see how it feels. It also doesn't mean you have to shut your other business down. Like I said, this could be an additional revenue stream and not even touch your existing brand that you're building in a negative way.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Like it could be a hybrid. It could be a hybrid. For my idea, like I could have my own site and then easily license the technology to somebody else. I'm thinking about, I can't remember the brand name off the top of my head, that tennis shoe brand, the sneakers where like you don't have to bend over and you can just slide your feet in.
Oh yeah, like the Skechers,
but Kicks or something like that.
Oh yes.
Kizik's. Like, I don't know, were they the ones that invented it and then they licensed it to Skechers? Because that seems to me like the way it went.
Yeah.
Outside looking in. I should have researched that before we have this episode. But that's a perfect example. If they have their own brand, they're also licensing it to another brand. Their technology's out there in a bigger way. They're still getting paid for it. They still have their own foothold
Another dad joke.
I know the puns, they just keep coming. They still have their own foothold on the industry as well, but they're taking advantage of the fact that they have a proprietary idea that can expand in a bigger way than what they can do as a sole proprietor.
And some people might think my idea is not big enough. If your idea is adding value to something that exists in the market, that might be all you need.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you think about it, these manufacturers or brands are looking for ways to get their customers to re-engage. What makes them come back and repurchase? If they're all of a sudden adding a new technology, a new function, a new problem solving, capability to their existing product, like that's a reason for customers to come back. So it doesn't necessarily have to be this huge product idea. We actually have one client that we're working with where she has a patented component of a product, the components of the product, but it is a amazing component, and it would be a reason for a consumer to come back and rebuy something new from an existing, brand that they already know and love because this one component is being added to their product.
And think about if you had an idea that didn't necessarily have legs on its own, but combined with something that's in the market, automatically it's much more viable. Think about like blue light lenses that exist now on you can get them on every pair of eyeglasses. So whoever invented that maybe was like, okay, I can see this going in this direction, but then now they've licensed it to lens crafters and this vision center and that vision center. Like now everyone's using it. And so, but like standalone, that technology doesn't really do anything. It only does something if you partner with an eyeglasses company. So if you have an idea that's standalone, maybe doesn't have like the guts to go viral or to be a big concept, where can you pair that with something in the market that it could?
And I know I've heard other people say, well, I don't want to lose control of my product and my brand. And I think a lot of that comes down to the contract you sign and exactly how involved you want to be. Like we even had this conversation with one of our clients. We said, okay, if we go down a licensing route, how involved do you want to be? Do you want to be the one when orders are placed that they come to you? You're managing the manufacturing. And I think she was like, no, not really. So, okay, well then, like that clarity as you go through this process, you realize, where do you want to be involved? Where are you okay to sit on the beach and just collect your check? Cool. Or no, I actually want to own the technology. I want them to be forced to buy it from me. So I become the manufacturer of the technology, right? So there's all these different ways that you can structure these deals. And I think, finding a really good lawyer in this space is where you probably should start with some of these conversations.
That's what I was going to say next. Like even kind of before you take another step in this realm, hopefully we've put the idea in your mind and you can take the next step to just grab an exploratory call with a lawyer, talk about what the concept is, talk about what directions when it comes to licensing may work very well, and just start exploring. You don't have to, you're not tied to one decision forever. Just think about it. Think about if this could work for how you want to show up in your business, the type of product you have, and, how you envision it going in the future.
And I think when you do make that, meeting with the lawyer, come with your use case, right? Come with what the demand is, what the white space is, what your pitch of why this would be good, and then have them help you. Like, what would an IP strategy look like? What would a trademark and a patent or a know-how, like what information do you need then to protect yourself and vet this out to see if it really is a viable go-to-market strategy?
Yeah. Like if you developed, you've done a lot of your past in like knits, sweats, things like that.
Very hard to patent.
Very hard to patent. But if you developed a sweatshirt that was waterproof, you'd be like, shit, I'm on the horn with like LL Bean and Nike, and like you'll be calling the people to sell your technology. You're not gonna be like, I'm gonna develop my own waterproof sweatshirt brand.
Correct.
Because it would just move so slow and it would be an uphill slog when like you have gold sitting on your hands.
Yeah, and new information, like I said, I've talked to quite a few patent attorneys about my pajama brand, and most said it's not patentable. Like a lot have told me that. Then I hear from my fabric mill that a client of theirs is going down a fabric patent journey with not my technology, but an adjacent technology. And all of a sudden, new information, I'm like, oh, now I got something to really protect myself when I talk about these licensing deals. Like, I will not go into that deal or even have further conversations until I know I can lock in my technology. I know I can protect myself, and then I really have something to sell to people.
Absolutely.
So again, I think a lot of it just comes back to that protection and finding the right person, the right lawyer, the right legal team, the right business op that can help you really like vet out what the legitimacy of this is.
So I think it's important to mention that we spanned kind of the gamut in terms of what you can license, all the way from a finished product, which is what like my idea is. One day on this podcast, I'm going to be able to tell you guys what it is.
Yes.
All the way from like a completely finished product down to just a technology that could be utilized in another product. Anywhere along that spectrum, it's something that you could consider and think about if that's right for you.
So I think some questions to ask yourself, if you're thinking about launching a product-based business, do you want to build brand? Do you want to build a business, or do you want a royalty stream? Do you want to be an inventor where you go and invent and basically sell your idea, license that idea, and then go on to the next? Or if you are an existing business owner and you're coming up to a certain point in your journey and you're wondering, is there more here? Could this be bigger? And you own a patent? I think it's a very good question to ask yourself.
Yeah.
Are you energized by the growth of building brand and building a business? Or is it kind of drain you at this point, right? For some of our product founders, they're like, I've done the thing. I've proven there's a need, but the next step of scaling is daunting. But I have something that I could tell has market viability. I just need to get it in the hands of people who have a lot more exposure than I'm ever going to be able to get.
Absolutely.
And would I rather build once or scale endlessly and just keep going and reiterating and, again, being that inventor?
I think that it reminds me of one of the conversations we had with a client this past week. She loves inventing as well, but she also wants it to be her brand. She's not at the moment interested in licensing. She's like, I want to build an entire suite of things that are along the same line. Great. Awesome for you. So excited about her products, PS. But
so good.
But I think what we're just saying is like, there's no one size fits all. There's no one answer. Really, there's a range of opportunities and how involved you'd like to be. We just think that not enough people realize that like you don't really have to be involved at all if you don't want. You can take the path less traveled all the way down here with you are not the face of your brand, you are not doing manufacturing, you are simply licensing IP, all the way up to all of the other brands we talk about in every other podcast.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And I think it's just getting really clear on what it is you want. And again, it's okay if that journey changes. It will ebb and flow. But if you also know from the get some things, and if you're really listening to yourself and this is kind of some light bulbs are going off in your head, it could be worth looking at building that business a different way.
Sure. Especially if you're like not super passionate about what it is, but it does have a place. Like my idea, it's a good idea. It has a place in this world. Do I want to spend my life hawking this idea? No, not really. No, it just should exist. And I'm going to let it be at that.
That's great.
We can say that your idea deserves to exist, even if you don't want to run the company.
Preach.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
Well, I think we've given you a lot to think about, especially those, again, who are on the more innovative side of product-based businesses. We hope this might spark a new idea, even as you're going about your day.
Yeah, bust a few founder myths. You don't have to be the face of your business.
Yeah. And I think also, just because you have a product-based business doesn't mean you can't come up with a new idea that just becomes a licensing play also, by the way, like Erin's talking about. So don't feel like you're also just confined to the business you have, is my point. There is lots of business and opportunity to go around. And there are lots of problems that still need to be fixed in this world.
Sure.
Which is why we have products launching every day to do just that.
Sure. And do not rob the world of that idea.
Nope.
Just because you don't see yourself at the center of it.
Yeah. Ooh, let's end on that. That's a good one. Well, thank you all for joining today. If you have liked this podcast, please like us on Instagram, comment, join our email, list. Go to thesourcinggals.com. We have everything that we offer up there, from one-on-one intensive work to mentoring to courses to community. We have the Founder Circle that is still going and thriving and getting new members in weekly.
Yeah, I will say that we talk a lot about our clients, and we don't talk a lot about the details of them because that's their own that's their own business. But these are all the ways we work with folks, from one-on-one to like within our private Facebook group. And the joy that we get at seeing these folks' ideas and helping them push it along to the next step is immense. And we hope you guys consider being part of that group as well.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for today. So let's wrap it up for today, and we'll see you back next week for another episode of
The Sourcing Gals.